This is Trinity 63, episode 3, which is titled Matthew 27:51, which I'm pretty sure is the point in the Bible where the temple gets destroyed after Jesus' crucifixion. Jesus dies, temple gets destroyed. So Trinity 63 is the temple in this metaphor. Very special episode of Trinity 63. During my time at Emerson, there was two other the big shows of the year were also about things at TV stations, and their big climax episode always involved the main characters in danger of losing the station for some reason or other, usually because I think it's some big corporate entities buying it out from under them, and they need to get it back for the little guys. So I was trying to do something similar with that, but I was like, all right, let's not go hey, a company's gonna buy this. Let's do something sillier. So we devised a thing of losing all the money and needing to win it back in a card game, which I think was one of the urban legends from a fraternity I was in, that they played a card game to decide who got to be the alpha chapter. I don't know. I'm giving away fraternity secrets.
Well, I'm excited. Oh, my Jesus.
Welcome to the final pledge drive edition of Praise the Lord. For the past 3 weeks, your support has helped us keep bringing you the quality faith-healing programming that you've come to expect.
Yes, but some of you have decided to be selfish, and God will look angrily down upon you in the judgment.
Remember when they played this for because this got nominated for, I think it actually won a National Broadcasting Society award. And this is the scene that they showed.
What?
And I was like, no, this looks like I'm just making an angry Christian show, not a comedy.
We'll be right back after this to show you just what we mean.
And we're out.
What are you
So-
doing?
If there were an award to be given for a secondary or tertiary character totally stealing a scene, Bill Thomason, the stage director, would absolutely win that award. The stage director is a character that it's in every single episode, but literally only has lines and we're out, 30 seconds, stuff like that. And so we needed somebody who could show up for all 3 weekends to do this. Actually, I guess not all 3. I guess he was only in the studio scenes. But he had to be there and do all these scenes. And so we're like, hey, Bill, can you do this? And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And it wasn't supposed to be any kind of anything. And he just turned it into this flaming jazz hand, and we're out. And I remember when we were shooting that scene, we actually had to stop the first time because we weren't expecting him to do that, and everyone started laughing so hard that we couldn't finish the scene.
Did you ever think that maybe he didn't want to be found?
It's a sure thing. You're
That's
positive.
Sid wearing a Mount View High School soccer shirt.
Just leave it here.
No, I found it, so I have an obligation to bring it back to him.
Okay, I'll call Louie and tell him I'm in.
Yeah, I could just hold on to
No,
that
if
and...
you're not going to help, then I'll just go look for him myself.
Okay, hope you kiss him.
Kiss
Find
him? I'd rather
Great, I owe you, Joey.
Her uncle would be so proud.
Hey, Louie, it's Sid. Can you have your boys come pick something up for me?
I like how in sitcom logic, too, it's not a big deal that, Sid is paying a gambler, a gangster bookie with a company check, and that he had no problem cashing a $600,000 check in an hour. So that it's already cashed by the time Sid tries to cancel it.
Don't think I don't see that look in your eyes.
Just follow my lead.
A 3, a 2, a 1.
Here at Praise the Lord, we believe in spreading cheer and goodwill. Isn't that right, Colin?
Yes.
So we're willing to
Pretty
do
sure this is the
whatever
only
it takes
episode where you
to
see
spread
Kirsten wearing
For
pants.
a pledge of $50,
She's always wearing little dresses in all the other episodes. It was funny. Rachel, she was I think a theater tech major, so she literally owned jeans, t-shirts, sneakers, and boots, and that was it. She had no dresses. She had no girly clothes. It was all jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers. So we literally had to borrow wardrobe from all of our friends to get dresses and scarves and sweaters and just things to make her look girly and whatnot. But it plays out because she looks super cute and all.
And 1 half.
Yes, that's great. Really, really great. Oh, so nice. Really, really nice. Thank you.
So this is the Phil and Avis scene. Phil and Avis were the names of my senior English teacher's parents. And whenever she would tell stories about her parents, she would always so Phil and Avis, and Phil and Avis. And I always liked the cadence of the names Phil and Avis. So Phil and Avis.
Well, thank you. $5.
Devin and Jen, who play the characters, really kind of nailed these roles.
How'd you do that, Tina?
Yeah, Del, how did you do? Was it good? Or was it bad? Or was it somewhere between good and bad? Or was it a little good?
They're perfect. And there was They did that all with like no direction. Like I forget which weekend we shot this, but like I was so busy with everything else that I was kind of like the Phil and Ava scenes were kind of like we'll deal with this later, and they all their little ticks. It's all them.
6 more. You can do it. Just 6 more.
All right in hell.
Okay.
This is why we had to have Rachel
Let's take another
Kirsten
call.
wear pants in this
Go here,
episode
praise the Lord.
because she's squatting down.
Colin, do you dance?
I think they're in this box.
The closet scene, my favorite set in the whole show. Like we literally made it look like a claustrophobic little space without using any walls, just through lighting and position of boxes and all that stuff. I think the original plan was to shoot in the actual closet that is behind those doors, but there was no way to do it in there.
Or didn't I say, Floyd, you need to fix it? Well, I did.
One of my favorite sound effects is in this scene when she bumps Colin. I think it's called Fall on Chair.
Pledges and help us out. Right, Colin? You do realize.
We actually had to, for that scene, we had to have, because we couldn't have the song playing in the studio because it would have messed up our sound editing. So we had Bill, the stage manager, with a Walkman on. Walkman is an iPod for the 1990s. So he's basically listening to the song on his headphones and doing the dance, and the two actors were just mimicking him as they did it.
Phil and Ava are doing great. Really, really great. Oh, hello?
Also, right behind those doors was a street or an alley, and we had to keep stopping because cars would be going by.
Fuck the good work, though.
$350. That's a big, 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 big one from the McAllisters.
1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3.
We really did a good job with the makeup in this. I mean, at the beginning, I think we had somebody who was doing the makeup, but by the end, it was just anybody who could do it, and they really made Andrew look like he was sweating there. They really did a good job of making the black eyes look like black eyes.
Galloping Gloucester, let it ride. Daddy's got his ass riding on it. 7, yes! Hey, come on, I'm
This is my
working.
favorite scene as far as sound editing goes. We had Chris, who was playing the host in the last episode, recording the announcers, and just with, bringing the sound up and down, it really kind of looks like Sid's really reacting to stuff.
Indicates a certain kind of ownership. Therefore,
To the second turn, Galloping Gloucester.
look at him go.
It's my horse.
Look, he's
Stop it.
Wow, he's really
Cut it out.
Oh my goodness, Galloping
Crap.
Gloucester has gone down.
What?
Galloping Gloucester is on the
What?
ground and he is staying there.
No,
Oh,
get up!
my, this is
No, get up! Get up! Come on, Dover, move your blooming arse!
From
My Fair Lady. You've seen My Fair Lady, you know.
I don't think I ever fully appreciated at the time just how funny it is that somebody like Janitor Bob would even know My Fair Lady, much less be able to quote it and sing the songs.
Number? Come on, Dover, move your blooming arse!
I think my high school had done My Fair Lady a couple years earlier, so that's the only reason I even really knew that line about Dover.
What? It has? Well, can you get it back? Retrieve it. Trace the money or something. Don't you mark those bills? Come on. Hello? Hello? Ah.
Come and we have a winner. The winner is Old Joe.
All I
Old Joe! That is a reference to a Goofy cartoon from the 40s. There's a cartoon where Goofy goes to the racetrack and bets on Old Joe, the 100-to-1 shot, who ends up winning because the guy they expected to win stops to pose for the photo finish at the end, and Old Joe crosses first.
panic.
I take it you don't collect when your horse doesn't finish.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Graham, it's gonna...
I like how Sid's biggest fear is Graham and not, getting arrested for embezzling money or fraud or, anything like that.
So this is how it all ends. Locked in a closet, no food, no water, air running out.
Like I said, I believe this episode actually won for best writing and best production for whatever year it was, 1998, for the National Broadcasting Society Awards, National Awards. And I don't know, I like it. I like that it's the most serious episode, but it's punctuated with all these like silly moments, like just this in here, and all the dumb stuff with Kirsten and Colin, on the set and getting stuck in a closet and Phil and Avis, but I feel like it's used to kind of punctuate the breakdown and the everything that happens at the end.
I want an answer and I want it now. Why don't you tell me what you were doing with this, or else Or else I'll spank you with this ruler until you tell me.
Oh, I can't take it anymore.
I remember the spank you this ruler line like Jacinta put in at one point because like this, we were trying to punch up the scene and like I was exhausted. I remember like this is like Emerson, so you're always up until like 3 a.m. all the time. So I was exhausted and like she was gonna fix up the scene. And I never looked at it again until we had the first read through. And so when Beth read that line, I'm gonna spank you with this ruler until you tell me, it was the first time I had heard it too. And I was like, oh, okay, good. You did some good stuff in that when I was asleep.
Dave!
Wow, good job, Avis. Good.
So you see in the documentary, there's this scene where Colin falls into the set. And like I make a whole big speech about how if anybody screws up after he knocks the set over, they're going to eat a sardine. Well, this is actually the second time we shot this scene because he did fall over, he did knock the set down, and then we screwed up. So we had to do it again. I don't think we made anyone eat a sardine, though. Hey, it's the tablecloth from Lovely Rita's hiding the sign.
Thank all of you for your love and your support and prayers for the last 3 weeks. May the
Yeah, I
Lord
think
be
like whatever happens, like as we're doing that push in on Rachel, I was like, all right, push in, now stop. And the stage director heard me say stop, told everyone to stop. And I wish we could say this because this great shot of Rachel just going, ugh, when she's like almost done with her speech, and then someone tells her to stop. This coming up here is probably my favorite stunt in the whole show.
Nope, don't even ask.
It really looks like he gets hit in the face, but he basically had his foot straight out in front of him, so it hit that, and it's yet another reason why I'm so glad we stumbled into having a stunt director, because like I just figured I was going to be the one blocking all these stunts as the director, and so to have somebody whose whole job was just to like, hey, here's how we're going to make you not get hurt doing this, was exactly what we needed. Because I don't know, I think I was planning to do that scene like slow motion. I wasn't sure how I was going to make that thing hit him in the face without actually hurting anyone.
Graham, hey, I got some interesting news. These aliens came down.
This scene, this scene, I believe, was the first to be shot on Sunday morning of the first weekend. So we had just finished shooting 2 days, long days. We were all exhausted. Nobody's energy was up, and things kept getting screwed up. Like, I think we had somebody on the switcher who was not very good, and it just took and there's so many people coming in, there's a lot of action, there's punches, there's dramatic things that need to happen, and I think the scene must have taken like 3-4 hours to shoot, which, most of them took like an hour tops, I think. And I remember everybody being pretty demoralized after it, just because it was such a hard scene to shoot, but it plays out so well, just the way his breakdown builds up. And he's kind of prevented from having his breakdown because people keep interrupting him.
Now! It's cashed now! Graham. Hello? Yeah, hello.
Graham.
Hello?
Graham, stop.
Why, Sid? Why? I don't know. I just thought. What? This wasn't your money.
Hey, calm down. It's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world.
I do kind of hate Kirsten's lines in this, though. It's like, not the end of the world. It's $600,000.
What gave you the right? What gave you the right?
Excuse me, Graham, but could you please
Colin,
just keep...
I really don't need to hear from you right now, okay?
I beg your pardon?
Just get the hell away!
Hey, there he is.
It's Graham. Hi, Graham.
Remember us? It's Phil and Avis.
Hi.
Actually, I'm Phil. She's Avis.
Okay, thanks, Phil. I get the point.
Ooh, somebody a little cranky?
Look, he's not in the mood to talk right now.
Not in the mood, that's...
Hey, Graham.
What?!
I was just wondering what the final figure was.
I love this moment. Everything just stops for like a few seconds. I feel like it's, this, especially this episode, there's just so much going, so much, like yelling and singing, and it's like this one just silent moment that I feel like holds a lot of weight.
Have you seen Sarah?
I think in the original version of the script, or at least in the planning version of the script, Sarah actually gets out of the closet, or they all get out of the closet before the show, before before Praise the Lord ends, and she makes it back to Praise the Lord for the final blessing, but is so disheveled that like the entire crew starts cracking up, and like the guy holding the boom mic drops it into the set, and that's what actually ends up knocking the set over. I kind of prefer how we made it happen this way, because like, one, it allows Bob and Colin to get out and interrupt Graham's breakdown again. And I feel like you actually get the biggest laugh the way we did it here too.
Hey, come on, it'll all work out.
The very thinly veiled representation of Graham being me is on full display here.
Depending on that money.
He's basically ends up voicing my biggest concerns at that time about like, you know, I left my small town because I was going to make it. I was going to show everybody. But what if I don't end up becoming
There must
famous?
be something we can do.
Yeah, hold a pledge drive.
Come on, you can't give up. This place is your life.
My life. Yeah. Yes, this is my life. Maybe that's the damn problem. Religious TV. This is not what I went to school for. Graham Steiner at a religious TV station. Graham Steiner. Stein! At a Christian TV station. This is not what I was supposed to be doing!
I think Giovanni actually broke the set with the chair when he did that, but it's a great moment. You know, we've seen that set fall over like half a dozen times at this point as a comedic thing. And this is the one time it gets knocked over as a dramatic moment.
Being teachers and doctors and lawyers. And I said I was going to go to Hollywood. Fame and fortune, that was my thing. They all laughed. They said I was crazy. But I said that I would show them. I did. And I did, didn't I? I did.
Kirsten's advice actually turned out to be very prescient for me, you know, because
So what?
I was, you know, had this whole idea like, oh, I'm going to go to Hollywood. I'm going to produce TV and film. I'm going to be super famous. And, you know, I'm not working at a Christian TV station, but I'm definitely not working in the version of TV that I thought I was going to at 20. But yeah, you got to find the good in all that you're doing. And even if life doesn't work out the way you want it to.
Just raised $600,000 because there are people out there who believe in what you're doing. I know. It's gone now. But don't you get it? You're reaching people. You've got people who care about you, people who love you.
With me?
Friends. You've got friends who care about you and don't want to see you get hurt.
Friends.
Can't actually see it here, but Andrew actually picks Jason up over his shoulder. Well, you can kind of see it, and he's like spanking him as he walks away. I remember Andrew, who plays Colin, actually got kind of annoyed when he watched the replay and realized like that we couldn't see any of that. I'm like, yeah, but what you guys are doing is there to offset the moment that Graham is having and the fact that he can't have his like sad moment because once again people are pulling him back, you know, into like the craziness of the world of the station. That was Michael W. Smith as the theme music during that thing, who was also a big Christian pop star during the 90s. I think the original plan for that scene, because again, I was majorly into the Rolling Stones this year, I was going to have You Can't Always Get What You Want as the song for that scene. But as slow as the song as it is, it's still kind of a peppy, kind of almost happy sounding song, and it really didn't play out. So we kind of stumbled onto that Michael W. Smith song, which actually works because like the song is called Won't Somebody Love Me, and which kind of happens to match up with the line right at the end, you know, love me? Friends. You've got friends who care about you. We like to have fun in the studio. So that was Trinity 63, episode 3. Hope to see you back for episode 4.